70s, 80s, 90s, all of them had an identity, a sound, a style, a soul. But then came the 2000s, and suddenly nothing. No clear culture, no distinct feeling, just recycled trends, fast fashion, and an endless scroll of noise. It's like the clock kept ticking, but history stopped moving. For most of modern history, every decade stood like a landmark. You could see it, you could feel it. The 1950s were post-war optimism, diners, drive-ins, rock and roll breaking through the airwaves. The 1960s exploded with rebellion, psychedelia, counterculture, civil rights, and the moon landing. The 1970s had disco balls, bell-bottoms, Vietnam protests, and the rise of the suburbs. The 1980s were neon lights, Wall Street greed, synthesizers, and MTV reshaping how music lived in our minds. The 1990s gave us grunge, hip-hop's golden era, the birth of the internet, in a raw authenticity that was impossible to fake. Each era had a fingerprint. You could close your eyes, hear the music, feel the energy, and know exactly where you were in time. History wasn't just a timeline, it was a soundtrack. And then came the 2000s. At first, it seemed like another era was forming. Baggy jeans, MySpace pages, flip phones, pop-punk anthems, ringtone rap, and reality TV stars. But something was different. It didn't last. The culture didn't solidify. It slipped through our fingers. By the late 2000s, the internet had swallowed everything. Suddenly, instead of shared identity, we had infinite niches. Instead of an era-defining sound, we had algorithms shuffling playlists. Instead of a collective look, we had fast fashion cycles erasing themselves every few months. The culture was moving too fast to leave behind a lasting identity. In the past, nostalgia was built in. If you grew up in the 70s, you could look back at tie-dye shirts and vinyl records and instantly feel that time again. If you came of age in the 90s, you could smell blockbuster popcorn and remember Friday nights in front of a tube TV. Nostalgia was anchored to physical things, tapes, VHS, magazines, concert tickets. But in the digital age, everything evaporates. Music isn't held in your hands, it's streamed. Photos don't fade in a shoebox, they vanish into cloud storage. Shows don't rerun on TV, they're buried in endless libraries. The artifacts that made nostalgia possible are gone. Without artifacts, how do we remember? And so nostalgia, once the bridge between eras, collapses. The 2000s don't feel like an era you can miss. They feel like a buffer, a blur, a hallway that led us into the age we're in now, an endless present. What killed eras? The algorithm. Before, culture moved slow. Radio, MTV, magazines. Gatekeepers released things in waves. Everyone consumed the same thing at the same time. That gave decades their identity. But once social media took over, culture stopped being shared. It became personalized. Everyone lives inside their own bubble feed. One person's 2000s 10s might have been indie Tumblr aesthetics, another's might have been trap beats, another's might have been gamer culture. Without a single mainstream, there can be no shared era, just fractured micro-trends. The irony? Eras ended because there's too much content, too much choice, too much noise. The algorithm doesn't create eras, it erases them, feeding us infinite cycles of the past until time itself feels broken. Look around. Does the 2020s feel different from the 2010s? Be honest. If you swapped clothes, phones, or cars, could you tell the difference? Culture feels frozen. We see 90s fashion recycled, 80s synthwave and soundtracks, and endless remakes at the box office. The past gets recycled endlessly while the present barely exists. We don't live in eras anymore. We live in an algorithmic loop where every time you think something new is happening, it's already been done before, just repackaged. Time has stopped moving forward. It's just circling back. When you erase eras, you erase identity. You erase the markers of change. You erase memory itself. If we can't look back and say, that was the 2000s 10s, that was the 2000s 20s, then history dissolves. It all becomes one blur. And here's the darker side. When people can't measure change, they can't measure decline. If there's no distinct before, there's no way to notice how much worse the after has become. That's not an accident, that's by design. Eras gave us context. Without them, we lose our compass. But here's the twist. While Eris may be dead, the recognition of their death is itself a spark. People are waking up. They're realizing they've been trapped in an endless present, that history has been stolen. And when you recognize the trap, you can break free of it. We don't need gatekeepers to define eras anymore. We can create our own. Communities online, movements offline, collectives that resist the blur. If the system won't give us eras, we can build identities of our own. That's where the power lies. So ask yourself, why do the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s shine like neon signs in the memory of culture, but the 2000s feel like static? What does it mean that nostalgia has been killed, that time feels frozen, that we live in an endless present? The answer is simple. Eras didn't vanish on their own. They were taken from us. If you're awake, you already know what to do. 70s, 80s,